I mean, how does this even happen? Right at the seams? I'm not a welder. How much of my tractor am I gonna have to take off to fix this? Oh God. Hey y'all, welcome back to Seriously Stump'd. Today's video is a little impromptu because I just broke my throttle handle off right after I got done filming a really cool video about a Harbor Freight pole saw. Went to move my tractor, too much power. Let's go. Snapped it right off. So if you guys want to figure out how you can re-rev up your engine, stick around. But if not, you can stay stumped and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Lego. Went ahead and popped open the hood. I bet this thing right here would love a little bit more air, but hey, guess what? That's for another video. We got this off out of the way too. All you had to do is hit your little screw, screw, screw. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Got it out of the way. And now we can move around here to where our throttle handle goes into our dashboard. It runs right through here, come on down here, and it attaches to this plate right here. I actually found a new one of these on Messick's, and I'm gonna order it. It's right under 20 bucks. It doesn't come with your handle up here, but it does come with your actual metal handle, so it doesn't come with the cover, but it's like $20. But in the meantime, I need to be able to rev up my engine, so I'm going to try my best at welding this piece right here back onto here. I just got to take these two bolts off right here. I'll be surprised if this even holds up. But what I'm gonna do first is I took my VEVOR portable bandsaw table, got it all clamped down because I don't have a clamp. To do that, I had to take off my handle to ensure that I could actually get some kind of resistance on it. And I'm just gonna take my little wire wheel on the end of my Dremel and clean up both of these edges to where it'll actually hold the weld. Or at least that's my plan. I got it all wire wheeled down, ground down. I would have used an angle grinder, but I really didn't want to take off any more metal and weaken this at all. But like I said, I'm not really a good welder. This is definitely temporary. I've ordered the Messick's part. I'm going to put it in the description of this video and I'll replace it officially later. But this is just a temporary patch. I'm going to get this lined up exactly where it was to where there's no undue tension when I'm twisting it once I get it back on. And then I'm going to try to tack it in place, check it out, and then finish welding it and grind it all up and get it looking pretty. Hopefully, in quotations, because like I said, I'm the furthest thing from a welder. But please, when you're using a wire wheel, wear those safety glasses. Like I said, I've been pulling wire out of my shirt, and if that was in my eyelid, it'd be a bad day. So let's get to welding. So as I said, I am not a welder. That is hideous, but we'll grind it up, make it look all pretty, and I bet it'll hold because I got a bunch of metal on there. So here it is in all of its glory. It's definitely not the best by any means. Let's focus a little, all right, but nothing a little metallic dark copper paint can't cover up the blemishes, at least some of them. I know it'll hold though, so let's go ahead and get this thing mounted back up once the paint dries. So let's see if we can remember exactly how this went without having to rewatch the other video. The only thing I'm really worried about is, was this twisted? Probably not. But get that pin back in here. Take your washer, throw it on there. Get your cotter pin. Once you get that lined up, you can take your stack of washers and your collar sleeve, throw that back on there. So here's a little public service announcement. I don't know if you guys could tell earlier, but when it had broke off, it was able to easily pop out. But the reason it broke, in my opinion, is because Kubota puts like a little tiny cutout that allows it to slide in this groove right here and then down the pipe once you're in this bigger area. And if you do any welding like this and you build up the metal, you're gonna have to do some mechanical agitation to force this back in there. And I had to go ahead and take the whole dash off to be able to get a hammer in there to do that. But now that it's in there, all I had to do was put the lock nut on the outside of the bolt. I'm sure you guys can tell when I said good to go, I simply meant that we had our throttle handle back installed. And then I went ahead and got our cotter pin back on and hooked up to our cable. That way when we actually twist it, we will rev the engine. However, I cannot get my gauge cluster back on with the steering wheel in the way. So to get that off, you have to back this screw out right here, and then you got to give it a good pull. And I kind of had to put my knees under it like this to get it off. And then there's the bolt. I had it on one thread when I did it earlier, and then I just got it off. But as you can see, it's just got these grooves right here, so you just got to get it to break free of those. And then ideally I'll be able to get my gauge cluster back on here and finagle it around everything, get everything buttoned back up, and then throw my steering wheel back on. Went ahead and hooked back up my lights because I had to unplug those from the dash, as well as my ignition switch. Got my covers back on, everything's good to go. Now I just need to tighten up the steering wheel. I got a 22mm socket on a weak drill. You don't want a strong drill because you don't want to over torque this. Good to go there. Take your cap, make sure it's the way you want it. Give that an old college try. Doing this one-handed, flip up here to our 1/2 inch to go ahead and mount our dash back in. Oops, didn't lock that in. Oops, can we get it? Yeah, no. Oh, gravity still works. All right, now we're back in business. All right, flip over here, get this one. I think we're good. Let's close up the hood, fire it up, and see if we can rev this thing. All right, let's get this thing fired up. Where are my keys at? Oh. I don't like that. All right, so we got this stack of washers right here, and there's a collar on the inside of it, and one of those washers was askew, and that collar was not through the center hole of the washer. So when I was tightening up these two bolts down here at the bottom, I wasn't putting any tension on my throttle. That way, when you actually put tension on it by pulling your throttle cable, the throttle cable was just pulling it back. But once you get that collar mashed in between all of those washers and you tighten up those two bottom bolts, you'll have enough tension on here by the compression that it will not pull back when you pull it all the way down. Oh, by the way, that was a 12mm wrench. Grab our keys, see if it'll stay held at our RPM we want. Good to go. Oop. All right, Stump fam, that's about all I had for you guys today on this impromptu video. Hopefully you learned a little something about welding up your throttle handle if it breaks off because of that weak point that they make to where they can fit it in that sleeve. Honestly, I don't even know if I'm going to put on the new one from Messick's immediately, since this one had to get, you know, kind of mechanically agitated in there. And I honestly think now that I got it put together this way, this is probably a little stronger. So I'll just wait till my weld snaps, if it ever does, and I'll have a backup ready to go. But hopefully you guys remember to stay safe and stay hydrated. Hopefully you're no longer stumped, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Now I can get back to playing with my little toy.